So, what are my thoughts on Mina the Hollower so far? Well, I think it's an excellent game, for one, made by the developers of Shovel Knight, Yacht Club Games, and it is amazing. I will make a full, more complete review a bit later, since so far I've only done like the first 3 areas, but I do want to do way more. But let's cut to the things that I really like about the game. So of course, as you can see, the game is sort of like a Zelda Link's Awakening sort of game, or Link to the Past, any of those top-down 2D Zelda games, which I love. But you'd be very deceived into thinking that it plays like one. Although it does have very clever ways of doing puzzles similarly, it's got very precise controls like this. So that is the first thing I like about it. The retro look of it is very deceiving, because when you play it, it is very smooth and controls so nicely. And because of that, it sort of makes it fit into a sort of Soulsy-like gameplay, I would say. I don't know if it's actually inspired by Souls games at all, but it sort of plays like it, in a way. So expect that from it. So that's the first thing I like, the fluidity of the control. The second thing I like is probably how they managed to fit such an open world into such a retro format, because it obviously plays via screens, but you can go anywhere once you reach the central village, and it's sort of like gives you that feeling of an open world where you're buying from shops and stuff, like a semi-open world, I guess. And then in Souls fashion, it also loops in around that on itself, so that sort of level design is the second thing I really like. The third thing I really like is how dense the actual screens are. So on every screen, there's always some hidden thing to do in every corner, and it always gives the brain something to do. Sometimes it's just like simple stuff, like breaking a hidden wall or something, but sometimes it's more elaborate, like grabbing a ladder from the shopkeeper or something, and there's like hints towards you doing it, and that's just super cool. And yeah, there's just so many like elaborate secrets that I wouldn't even be able to figure out, that like make the game so interesting. And the final thing I like about the game is sort of the hints that it gives you incorporated throughout the world and throughout the characters of the game, who like suggest certain things to you to access some of the hidden stuff, or tell you where to go next. And I think that just makes everything much more dynamic. So overall, I'll talk about it more in the review, but I'm not the biggest fan of Shovel Knight personally, just because of how it plays, but this game I love. This is more my style, I would say, than Shovel Knight. But expect lots of difficulty, because it is a difficult game. But it is very fun and very rewarding. And I think it's probably my personal game of the year. So, yep, that's that.